Parts of Ferguson still smoldering, literally and emotionally, following a night of unbridled chaos. Daylight revealing the full toll of last night's protests, where as many as 25 buildings were burned or looted, following the grand jury's decision not to indict Officer Darren Wilson. Demonstrators reportedly firing more than 100 gunshots, clashing with police into the early morning hours. The turmoil not limited to Ferguson, the decision also spawning protests from New York to Oakland. Joining me now, our very own Charlie Gasparino. We also have David Asman and James Frischling, the president of NewOak. You look at everything that's going on. We're a money show. We're about business. So I want to look at the businesses that got destroyed so senselessly. I mean, there was someone that was on our show earlier in the week who had a store that he had been looted the first time. He decided to stay open. He got looted again. He was supposed to come on the show today, but I mean, he's overwhelmed, obviously.
I think they made a big mistake. Rudy Giuliani pointed it out in Maria's show today. They did something called a cooling off period, where they allow the protesters to throw a couple of bottles, burn a couple of cars. He said if you allow that cooling off, it leads to a heating up.
Yeah.
Every time that happened in Manhattan, he would stop. The first time a bottle was thrown, he'd go in and arrest somebody. That stopped it from getting worse.
We have that soundbite. Let's listen to it. Let's listen to it.
This should have been done in the regular course. I never announced an indictment, I can't remember, at 9 o'clock at night.
Right.
You announce it at 9, 10, 11 o'clock in the morning. I think had it been done during the daytime, it would have been easier on the police to detect what was going on.
People forget what New York was like in the 70s and most people here in Manhattan never venture out to Newark, where there were riots, and the economic impact that those riots caused. I will say this.
Right.
We've been doing some reporting today on housing prices in Ferguson, and there are plenty of people that own housing, plenty of African Americans that own housing in Ferguson. They are seeing their prices of their homes drop dramatically. Who's going to want to set up a business if the National Guard is not going to protect you? Who's going to want to take their kids to school if the National Guard is not going to, or the police is not going to protect your children? Crime, and one of the great things about Rudy Giuliani, because I covered Rudy when he first became mayor, is that he understood the nexus between crime and the economy. One of the problems with New York in the 70s, as someone who lived here before I moved to Westchester County because of that crime, was that businesses closed up, housing prices went down because of high crime rates.
James, the financial impact.
The businesses in Ferguson have been down over 80%. Not sustainable. Tax collections obviously slaughtered as a result. So to Charlie's point, the business impact has been massive, and it's going to be felt for some time to come.
Absolutely. Meanwhile, Jonathan Gruber tasting a little humble pie this Thanksgiving. The Obamacare architect who called us all stupid, don't forget, agreeing to face the music in Washington. He's going to testify before the House Oversight Committee. That's coming up on December 9th. I wonder what they're going to ask him and what information they're looking for. I mean, for example, this latest study that surfaced that he worked on, predicting that 90% of individuals without employer-sponsored insurance would see their premiums spike by an average of 41%. So a fact that they knew through models that prices were going to go up, obviously was represented in a different way. Are they going to ask him who knew about that?
Listen, I'm a Gruber fan, and why is that? Because I think Gruber, as opposed to anybody else, told the unvarnished truth about Obama.
Yeah, but that doesn't excuse lying and causing other people to lie.
No. These were taped events.
After the fact.
This is an important cog in the machinery of Obamacare, who spoke the truth. Let's just, if he's
not when it counted.
He's going to count now. Well, it's not his to call.
I don't think he's going to speak because I'm telling you, he is putting himself out there.
No. Hold on a second. He volunteered to do this, so he's not going to take the fifth. I think this guy is desperate. He has to make a comment. This is a guy who's making millions of dollars off of government contracts. He suddenly lost that. He's losing his contracts in states, and pretty soon he'll lose. So he needs to pay the bills. It's that simple, folks.
Well, suppose he comes out, David, just plays devil's advocate, and says what he said on those tapes. He will do the country a great service. He will say,
after the fact.
Yes, he will, because
that would put the finger on the politician. Say, did you know that? Did you believe it? Did he say it at the time?
Right, and that's what we need. We need a public airing of what went on, and Gruber has given us this.
I don't think it excuses this, but I think you're right. I think that would put the onus on the politicians where it belongs.
If Gruber comes out and says what he says on those tapes, he will be doing the public an immense public service.
Elon Musk getting a little antsy in the C-suite at Tesla. Musk telling German magazine Auto Bild that he'll step down as CEO within the next 3 to 4 years. What would that mean for Tesla, James?
Well, my expectation is that 3 or 4 years from now, they're going to actually need a different CEO to run this company. Because the fact is, he's an incredible dreamer. He's an incredible get things done kind of guy. But I'm hoping for Tesla's sake and for the shareholders' sake, in 3 or 4 years, they're going to have a CEO that's going to be more process-oriented. Yeah. He's been talking about Mars and retiring to Mars since 2010. So this isn't
he's also from the beginning of the Obama administration been over-reliant, I would say, on government subsidies. He's gotten government subsidies, all kinds of things, from his space program, from this.
That's not what he's doing.
I love the guy's entrepreneurial spirit, but I wonder if his business model could survive no subsidies.
Let's be clear why he's not doing this because of subsidies in the Obama administration. What he's doing this is because, like any maturing company, you need someone, to your point, to run it. Eric Schmidt coming in, becoming the adult in the room inside Google. Sheryl Sandberg, the same thing. That doesn't.
I got one name that's an exception to that, and that's Steve Jobs.
Okay.
He came back, and he still hadn't grown up, and he came back. He did learn.
He grew up.
Speaking of grown-ups, Twitter CFO Anthony Nato taking one straight from the Anthony Weiner playbook, mixing up his tweets and direct messages. But don't worry. The only thing he's revealing is a possible deal, tweeting, quote, "I still think we should buy them. He's on your schedule for December 15th or 16th. We'll need to sell him. I have a plan." So, of course, everyone wants to know what company is on a schedule for December 15th and 16th. And, of course, the company that's out there knows who they are at this point and is saying, boy, I can't wait for them to sell us on this plan for them to buy us.
This isn't quite a Weiner moment, let's face it. No, I mean, I don't think he did anything that destroyed his brand.
Oh, no. It's embarrassing that, the point is, the CFO of Twitter, who should know how to use Twitter, was thinking he was direct messaging someone, and instead he tweeted it, pointing out to everyone how easy it is to accidentally misuse Twitter. Go ahead.
Anthony Noto, before he became doing what he's doing now, he was the CFO of the NFL or maybe the NBA, I can't remember, but he was a long-time internet analyst, so he is a guy that knows the internet inside and out.
Do you think he did it on purpose?
No, but I think it's
I have to ask, excuse me, have you ever regretted any tweet you sent? And if so, what was it? Charlie Gasparino.
Yes. Wait, close up on Charlie. Go ahead.
You can put close up on me. I believe it or not, I do think a little bit before I send those.
You're not answering the question. Have you ever sent a tweet you regretted?
No. Never. You've never wanted to take back.
I've sent emails that said things to people that I wish
that you would like to have back. Like any in particular?
Well, there was once where I was at another publication I somehow said something. I was sending something nasty to somebody else.
Reply all.
Screw you, but I didn't say screw you. And I hit the two buttons together, and it replied to the whole company.
Yeah, we've all done that.
People were coming back to me. Why are you saying "f you" to me?
Oh, that was good. Okay, but that sounds like a normal day for you, though, sort of, a little bit. All right. Blackberry subscribing to an old theory that if you can't beat them, bribe them. The embattled smartphone maker offering up to $550 if you trade in your iPhone for a BlackBerry passport. So there you go. Apple clearly shaking in their boots, hitting a new all-time high. I mean, that's some serious money. $550 for an old iPhone. But you do end up with a BlackBerry passport, that little square phone. Which I haven't
Who would
seen
want it?
yet.
I'm hanging in there.
I got to tell you, I want to see the passport before I say I won't have it for sure. It does sound ridiculous, but I am one of those people that really likes the BlackBerry.
I'm doing the best hanging in there with BlackBerry, and I know. And they're now cheapening it, making it I'll use it anyway, and now they're saying we'll bribe you to use it. Like, how bad?
They're not going to bribe you.
So I don't even get this deal?
You don't have an iPhone. No, that's what I was thinking. They're only going to ask Apple people who already have an iPhone.
But BlackBerry is a wonderful example of how a monopoly can really ruin a company by making them lazy. They just got lazy. They just got lazy. It's as simple as that.
It could be actually clever because I know a lot of people have switched the iPhone because they think it's going to be cooler and better and they can't type on it. So they go back to their BlackBerry. So maybe there is something clever hidden in here. I don't know. I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt. Thanks, you guys. In the meantime, switching gears a bit, GQ magazine unveiling its least influential people of the year. You ready for it? Bono tops the pack. We told you no one wants a free U2 album, I guess. Back now, Lori Rothman and James Frischling. So this is GQ magazine. I mean, it's pop culture. They've gone against Bono, President Obama, they said, for his response to major catastrophes in the last year. CNN for spending the majority of the year searching for a single plane. Who do you think?
First of all, sympathy for Bono. He had that catastrophic bike accident, right? He had to cancel all of his appearances and everything. But what I want to know is, Actually, I could be mistaken. Let me be clear. Nobody in fashion is on this list. GQ magazine. Where is Kim Kardashian? Yeah.
Well, as the least influential?
Clearly, she's considered influential. I like
But
Roger
that's not-
Goodell on the
isn't that
list,
the point?
making you feel wrong to watch football. He earned a spot for making the #1 sport in the world. You feel guilty is why he got on the
wouldn't
list.
say
I thought that was
that.
pretty great.
Chris Christie, the Secret Service, Derek Jeter, one of the least influential?
I mean,
really?
he celebrated. He went out in such a classy way, I thought.
Okay.
And he went out on time.
Real quick, Lori, I want to show you Lori and the milk ad lady from earlier in the show. Charlie Gasparino said you look just like her. She's very cute. And maybe are you moonlighting on the side and earning extra money? Is that what's going on
Yeah.
here? Are you cheating on us here at Fox Business? All right, thanks, you guys.